Hey guys, Bryce Carter with Financial Strategies Group. This is the first ever episode of FSG TV, and I have with us my sister and our Chief Operations Officer, Brittany Culver.
Hi everyone, we are here to follow up on an article that Bryce recently did on biblically responsible investing.
Biblically responsible investing is a growing investment trend. It's about aligning your values with your investment portfolio. And I wanted to have Brittany to come on and talk about it. I kind of have more of the investment expertise, if you will. And my sister is got a very deep background in ministry. So I thought it'd be good if we just chatted about it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. You know, I think one of the biggest things that as Christians we put emphasis on, and I'm sure that a lot of your Christian clients go over with you, is the importance of tithing to them.
Absolutely.
And I saw this great video one time. I don't have a whole pie, but I do have a candy bar, so we'll go ahead and use that for this illustration. But basically...
Well, pie would have been eaten in the conference room.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But basically the illustration is that, you know, we take our income and we break off a piece for our mortgage. We take another piece for a car, another piece for another car. You've got your cell phone bill. You've got your grocery bill. You've got, you know, all these other bills that eat up your income. And then at the end of this video, they had got at the end saying, hey, I brought the pie, right? So when we don't give that 10% and when we don't give that first, the outlook as a Christian is we're not giving to God what he gave us. And so we put a lot of emphasis on that 10%, and that is extremely important as Christians in our faith. But what's also important is this other 90%, right? Because God gave us the whole 100%. And so let's make sure that we're stewarding that 90% in a way that aligns with our beliefs as well. And so I so appreciate that you guys promote oftentimes, even with non-Christians, the importance of in your financial life, giving 10% to charity oftentimes.
I mean, we're blessed to be in this country where we relatively have a lot of economic prosperity
Absolutely.
compared to other places, right? And I think it is our duty to give in some way, shape, or form, regardless of maybe your personal preferences, right? But of this piece of the pie, I'm hoping a good chunk of it is to savings as well, right?
Absolutely.
You should tithe, and we know there's bills, but you should absolutely be saving. And biblically responsible investing is about how those savings are applied, right? So in the United States, there's roughly $40 trillion in mutual funds, which is how most investors invest, mutual funds and ETFs and those kinds of things. And we as Christians should maybe do a better job of thinking about what is in those mutual funds.
Absolutely, because there's hundreds of companies in each mutual fund oftentimes, right?
Well, that might be an understatement. And some of the bigger mutual funds and some of the more popular ones, it's not uncommon to see thousands of securities, thousands of different stock positions. I think in some of our portfolios, if I peel back all the mutual funds, we'll see well in excess of 3,000 individual companies, right? So we take a look at these companies, and a lot of them are doing practices that necessarily don't align with your faith.
Absolutely,
beliefs, right?
Absolutely.
So what social responsibility investing is, socially responsible investing is the main, I guess, driving force behind starting that conversation, right? Is a lot of people have different causes that they want to follow behind. And so biblically responsible investing is a subset of socially responsible investing. And
so you can use socially responsible investing to meet the needs of other sects as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So certain people are very against environmentally harmful practices, right? Which certainly biblically responsible investing allows for the harvest of natural resources, but in a responsible manner. So companies that have an irresponsible use of natural resources often are filtered out. So socially responsible investing is a broad theme, and biblically responsible investing is a narrower theme that starts to take the Christian values and layer that over your portfolio, and then that allows us to start filtering out different mutual funds based on what kind of companies that they invest in.
Which sounds to me like it would take a niche and a lot of extra time and effort and cost. So what's some of the downside to a portfolio like this? I know we have JT from Frontier coming in for our next episode, and they do a little bit of this, but there's got to be some upside and some downside to this.
Absolutely. So I think the upside is obvious. Is it's aligning your investment dollars with your beliefs, right?
Yeah.
And you know they say you vote with your dollars.
Right.
I mean, actually, you invest with your dollars, right? And I think that if we're not talking about this and we're not investing in accordance with our beliefs, you know, not investing in companies that produce and promote pornography, companies that make their primary income off of alcohol and tobacco, companies that are actively investing in countries with oppressive regimes, things of that nature. And a lot of those are the main focus points of things that we try to filter out. If we're not voting with our dollar, investing with our dollar behind our beliefs, nothing will ever change on that, because we can have a positive impact. So you're right that it takes some additional resources, and that's kind of why I'm really excited to talk about this. Is this was not possible in any meaningful capacity 10 or 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know, technology's come a long ways. If I, as an individual, wanted to check into every single stock that a mutual fund I owned 10 or 15 years ago, it was a lot harder than it is today.
Right. Well, I remember being on a missions trip, and one of the girls that was on the missions trip with me was talking about how her financial planner was really struggling to meet their needs. They were requesting a portfolio, you know, like what you're describing, and their financial planner was telling them that's too much work, that you don't understand what you're asking. And that, again, was probably 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah. The resources available to us through technology have made this a lot easier. It's a lot easier to peel back layers, know what companies mutual funds own, and whether those align with our views or not. That being said, it does take another level of due diligence,
Absolutely.
right? A lot more work. And so Frontier Asset Management is a company that has 40 employees. About half of them are strictly on the investment research side. Mm-hmm. So I'm here as a financial planner. I'm meeting with regular clients, talking about their Social Security and their estate and their
doing
Roth
videos.
Becoming a YouTube star, you know, talking to them about Roth contribution limits and so on and so forth. And so I don't necessarily have all of the resources to filter all of these companies on an ongoing basis. So we rely a lot on Frontier Asset Management. They have a Christian worldview suite of portfolios that mirrors their regular portfolios, but adds that Christian values and beliefs filter to it. So I think leaning on external resources certainly does help make it much more cost effective than if we would have had to take the full burden.
Well, I think so often as Christians, we put some focus on being frugal and not chasing after money just for money's sake. But at the same time, money does hold some sort of a power in our lives in this day and age. Yeah. And you know, it's another thing when I'm doing premarital counseling with couples that I talk to them about is making sure you're on the same wavelength with your finances, because that does control a lot of your direction as a couple, and it controls a lot of your direction as an individual as well. And so I'm really proud that we offer portfolios like these, because it does intertwine. You think of money and beliefs as so separate, but really they do intertwine, and there is power in knowing where your money's going.
Absolutely. I think it's particularly important for the Christian organizations. Yeah. Churches that have investment portfolios, Christian-based nonprofits, your role models, your examples in the community, and I think it's more important for them to invest according to their beliefs, to set the example for their constituents.
Absolutely.
And so I really believe that this is something that, yes, it can very much work for the individual client that wants to align their beliefs with their portfolio. But I think it's critical for a Christian organization to do it.
Absolutely.
And so part of this is just to make this concept more aware, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To bring awareness around the topic. And, you know, I know you asked about potential downsides. Anytime you're going to take an investment portfolio and you're going to say, we're just going to exclude an entire subset of companies, there's going to be a divulgence, right? So there could be periods of time where Christian worldview, biblically responsible type of portfolios are going to outperform. And there's going to be times that they're going to underperform.
Right.
I cannot predict when that will be. I just know that that will happen. Right. Anytime you set some sort of constraints on a portfolio, you can expect some divulgence. The difference with the organizations is they have an indefinite time frame. Right? So they can weather those storms, right? If we have a 5-year period of significant underperformance in an individual's retirement account, that's going to cause some problems.
Especially depending on that 5 years and where they're at.
Exactly. But that non-for-profit, that church, that endowment account, whatever that may be, that has an indefinite time frame. And 5 years is nothing. I mean, it's not nothing, right? But they have the time to flow through the over and under performance periods of time, which is why I think it is that much more important for those institutions to embrace this concept of biblically responsible investing.
Absolutely, and I do think it's so important to get the word out there about this because, I mean, we grew up in a financial planning family, 31 years now, being around financial planning in that industry, and honestly, until you really brought this to the forefront and wrote this article on it, I was unaware.
And, I think part of that has to do with the fact that it was really basically impossible to do until semi-recently. Impossible is a tricky word, but because biblically responsible investing has been around for quite some time. Actually, it's just not been very practical.
Absolutely.
And now I think it's practical. I think that it is more important than ever in today's environment for Christians to put their money where their beliefs are.
Absolutely. Well, and thank you for writing this article and bringing this up more and more to the forefront, Bryce. I really think that this is valuable information for ministries and Christian individuals who have some time or who have those extra assets where they can put at least a chunk of it into some sort of a portfolio like this. So please make sure to subscribe to our channel, to like this video, leave some comments, let us know what your feedback is. And again, this is our first episode ever.
Exactly.
So we are going to be doing more. Let us know if there's something specific that you'd love to hear about.
Upcoming, we have JT from Frontier Asset Management coming in. And then next month, we're going to be doing a series on the business owner.
Absolutely. 4-week series.
All right. I'm pretty excited about it. So thanks for tuning in.